Hey everyone! I wanted to make a video on the flying mechanics of Zenith, as well as make a tutorial on the fast flying that I do, which is actually a method to move way faster than you're supposed to be able to move, in addition to being able to gain altitude. So we can go ahead and get started here. As you can see, for now, I'll show you what basic flying is like. Basic flying, you just hold your arms out and you move at a consistent rate. Tilting up and down for your hands doesn't do anything. If you grab your weapons, you can more easily in this method actually fire people while gliding above them, which is pretty cool, but you're not able to pick up speed or do anything there, so keep that in mind. Basic flying is the mode that's on by default, so while you're just going around the world, the basic flying will be on, and tilting your arms does nothing, tilting your hands does nothing. It's more of just like the leisure way to get around the world, yeah, it's not the most effective method, but it's a more casual way for sure. It's probably the way you'll get the least motion sick as well, so keep that in mind. Something additional to keep in mind with the stamina, guys, jumping costs 3 stamina. So anytime you have the ability to jump, or have the ability to actually fall off something instead of jump, usually it's better to just fall off the edge of wherever you're trying to fly off of and start flying from there rather than jump. And that'll actually save you a little bit of stamina overall, unless the place you're trying to get is higher. Sensitive flying, guys, it's different from the main method. If you just try to fly like you normally do for basic, and you just hold your arms out, you'll feel like you're not really going anywhere. And it's kind of confusing at the start to figure out what you have to do. So what you actually have to do is tilt your arms or your hands down and up to kind of dip down and go up. So you'll see, I'll watch my hand here. Actually, I'll look out front first. So dipping down and then up. You're able to change your kind of momentum based on where your hand is pointing, and I hope that's showing up with me on the side of the screen there. So this is a method where you're actually able to pick up a bit of speed. It actually helps you get around the world a bit quicker than the basic flying. As you saw with the basic flying, it has a single speed, but with this flying, when you fall off of something, you're actually able to kind of change how fast you're moving based on which way your hands are pointing. So you're able to get places a little bit faster. It doesn't really let you gain altitude very much, but it helps you get around a bit faster, and it's a bit more fun once you get used to it. So this method, again, tilting down and up is going to be the main method that you use it. We'll go ahead and change to strafe. This is the one that I primarily use. The difference between sensitive and strafe is strafe also has an effect when you move your arms up and down in opposite directions. So it's the same as sensitive normally, where you can kind of change your momentum by tilting your hands up and down. You see that? Teleport on top of this rock here. But the difference between sensitive and this one is, for this one, putting your arms like this will actually move you left or right as well. So while you're like moving around the world, you can do all sorts of cool moves like that. So has the ability to kind of change your direction by moving your hands up and down, kind of opposite of each other. Pretty cool. And then the last method is heading. Go ahead and teleport up here. Get rid of this guy really quick. The last method is heading, which is the same as strafe, but the difference is when you put your hands up like this to tilt or change direction, it'll actually rotate your screen. So for the most part, it is the same as sensitive, but then if I do this, you'll see it'll start to spin you. So if you really want to get motion sick, or you really wanted to just, this method can feel really cool, but it always keeps your heading facing forward, which means while you're flying, you can, like, it'll tilt your screen, so you can always just worry about moving forward and move your arms instead. So I'll show that one more time. So technically I'm always moving forward for this one because it's tilting my screen when I move my arms up or down. You see that? So I'm always moving forward for this one. So this one might be better for motion sick once you get used to it. I'm not sure, guys. Basic's going to be the best for motion sickness. The one that I primarily use is strafe because I like the ability to change directions by moving my arms up and down a little bit. I think I'll try heading a bit more and see if it's something that I might be interested in. But for the most part, for right now, I'm using strafe. All right, everyone, and now I'll try to explain the super quick fast flying that I've been doing on stream. The way that this works is every time you go from a not flying to flying position, the game tries to move you in the direction of your thumbstick. So if I'm not moving my thumbstick at all, you see that I just keep my standard momentum and you just keep going. But if I hold right, it moves me right for that point that I'm not flying. You see that little, how it's moving me right? Every time I stop flying, it's moving me this way. So what you can do with that is while flying, if you're holding your thumbstick forward, so if you start walking forward, that's the best way to get a sense of where forward is, and you do the same thing, it'll move you forward for a little bit when you go from flying to not flying. Now, when it does that, a little push forward, it actually makes you move a little faster in the air. The air actually remembers your momentum a little bit. So while you're flying, if you say angle a little bit either forward or down so you can pick up speed and go from flying to not flying, and you're holding forward, it'll let you gain speed while you're doing that. So you remember, you have to hold your thumbstick forward to do this. Holding backwards will make it do this. Holding left will make you go left instead of forward. But if you're holding forward, it'll let you gain that little bit of momentum. And I'll kind of show you what this could do. So that rock over there, let's see if I have enough stamina to actually reach to it. This method does use an extra half stamina. The game does consume a little bit of stamina when you go from a not flying to flying state. But keep that in mind. If you're only at 10 stamina at the beginning of the game, this method won't be the best for you because it's really hard to get around by default just on 10 stamina. Say I wanted to get to that rock, you can see that that rock's elevated above where I'm standing, and it's pretty far away. If I try to get over there just with the normal flying, we'll see how close we can get. We didn't make it even to that first little platform there. I'm going to take a second to run back to where I was so you guys can get a good point of reference. Alright, so we're back to the rock. We didn't even make it up to the top of that first part of that platform there. But with the fast flying, if you get the hang of it just right, you can see how much of a difference this method of flying makes. And again, just moving your hands on and off of the flying, not flying, and you have to be holding the joystick forward. But you're able to get to some pretty ridiculous spots doing this. Mess around with the angle of exactly which angle you want your hands to be. If it's angled more up, you're obviously going to be gaining more height. Whereas down will help you gain a little bit more speed so that you can try to get more height. And of course, remember that the gusts that you see scattered around the world, if you see them, will increase your stamina, or rather regenerate your stamina while you're on them. You can see that there. Keep that in mind. I was wondering, if I hold down, you can see it's helping me gain a bit more speed, and then up for a bit more height. But again, guys, at the beginning of this game, might not be too good of a method for you if you don't have the stamina to deal with it. However, late game, when you have a little bit more stamina, or if you have the ability to make food that will increase your stamina, this is a great method for being able to get to places that you're not really supposed to be able to get to if you have the stamina to spare. You can actually gain altitude, gain speed while you're moving around. If you see me zipping around the map, I'm sure some of you have seen me just flying through some of the zones, going way too fast. This is the method that I'm using to get, to move faster and get around these zones. And you can just see the difference of like how far away I'm getting and how high I'm getting. Now again, I have 17 stamina, so subtract about this much from where you start with. And then to get more stamina in the game, you're going to either need to use food or collect tears. But I hope this tutorial helped you guys. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll do everything I can to help. And I should be streaming this evening with a bit more Zenith, trying to grind out some more legendary gear for my main character. If you guys are interested, feel free to stop by the stream or even ask questions at the stream tonight when I'm streaming. Hope to see you guys there.